Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan Carlos Monsalve. Today is November 13, 2023. The time of this recording is 7:58 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to play another shoe of Baccarat today. And this free information is for your entertainment purposes only. If you decide to use any of my strategies, please be mindful that they may not work 100% of the times and that you may lose money. The name of the game is Baccarat. And for all the scorecards, you can visit my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. If you want to support my channel, you want to support my work, you can go to the website buymeacoffee.com /Juan Carlos Monsalve. You can also use PayPal at paypal.me /Juan Carlos Monsalve 12. And you can also use the Cash App $ Juan Carlos Monsalve. Please give a like, subscribe, ring the bell, share the video with others, sit back and observe. We are doing the strategy is very similar to the Martingale betting system. We will start with $25. We are looking to win at least five original units. That means at least $125. Again, we use the Martingale betting system where we double the original bet, and then if we lose, we double again, and if we lose, we double again. The only difference is that we don't reset after the win, and we will have unlimited funds. That means that we will assume that we don't have any limit. We will follow the table limits. Um, we will follow the table limits. In this case, it's going to be $25 minimum, 5,000 maximum, and that means that our bets will be 25, 50, 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200. And if it goes further than that, the next is not going to be double because the maximum is probably 5,000. So we will go to the maximum bet of 5,000 if that's the case, and we will remain that until we get our money back, or we complete after one loss we get at least $125. We're gonna start the shoe. Again, I have two different strategies. One for when the shoe start with the player, and one when it start with the banker. My first bet will be on player. If he wins to a banker, so I will switch strategies to the banker. First of all, we will burn one card. In this case, is the seven of spades, and then we burn seven more cards. Two, three, four, five, six, seven cards for a total of eight cards that have been burned. And we write down or we type the information in this cell here. That is a seven of spades. And today's date again is November 13, 2023. And we will go with the first hand, first card for player, banker, player, banker. We have player six and stands. Banker has a zero and gets a third card, and the third card is a four. So it is six player, four banker, and we won that hand. We won our first $25 on this shoe. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, Banker has a 7 and stands. Player has a 2 and gets the third card. It reduces to 1. So it is 1, 7. We bet that was a banker hand. Player, I had player as my bet. I lost that hand. I lost the $25 that we won before. So we are at zero right now. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player and a natural 8 banker, and this is a tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 0 player, 0 banker, and the third card for player is 0, and the third card for banker is a 5. So this is a banker hand 05, and here we won our first $50. Well, we won $50. Um, Let me see. Yes, we won $50, and that was our fourth hand. On top, we see we have one player, two bankers, one tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 3 player and 4 banker. The third card for player is a 0. So it is 3, and we don't get any more card for banker, so it remains at 4. So this was a banker hand. I lost $50 on this hand. So for next hand we will double, and I go banker. First card for player, banker, player, banker. I have a 2 player and 5 banker. The third card for player is a 0, so it remains at 2, and banker is 5. And I had a banker bet, and it was a banker hand, so I won this one. I won $100. On the one before, we lost the $50 before, and we doubled the bet. My next bet is going to be a banker. So first card for player, banker, player, banker. I have a player 4 and banker 0. The third card for player is a 7. It reduces to 1. 4 plus 7, 1. And banker gets a 0, and the third card is a 1. So it is another tie. 1, 1. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now I have a natural 8 banker, and player has a 3. That was a banker hand. I was betting in banker. I won this hand. I won another $100. Now we have $200 on positive. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now I have a natural 8 player, and banker has a 0. That was a player hand. My bet was a player. I won this hand for another $100 for a total of 300. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have one player and 4 banker. The third card for player is a 4 for a total of 5. 5 player and banker. We get another card. If we get anything from 2 to 7, we get a third card for banker, and the third card is a 0. So 5, 4. We lost this hand, and we lost $100 because we already reached our target, that is $125, 5 units. That means that we won't continue betting. At this moment, if I'm at the casino, I will be leaving the table. I will not stay at the table. In this case, I'm gonna continue playing because I'm collecting the data, and this is for your information um, and your entertainment. Second card for player. Well, it's a six player, one banker, and banker gets a third card. The third card is a five for a total of six. So six players, six banker. This is another tie, and it was zero. It was zero. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a seven and a stands. Banker has a two and gets a third card. The third card is five, but for a total of seven. So this is another tie, 7-7. Um, so we continue. There was no bet there. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a six. Banker has a six. Player has a zero. And we get another zero. So this one is a zero player and six banker. And on this one, it shows that we lost the hand. We didn't lose any money because it already stopped here. We don't make any more bets. The formula indicates that we stop there. So this is a banker hand. In my strategy, I was playing player. I lost that hand. On this one, it's showing how many hands we are in the red or the blue. The blue is positive, red negative hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has four and banker has a five. The third card for player is a zero, so it remains at four. And banker has a five. We don't get any more card for banker, so we won that hand. And it shows there. Uh, Banker hand. We play banker. We won that hand. Again, no money was involved there. We already reached our target. Player, banker, player, banker. Player has a seven and stands. Banker one and gets a third card, and the third card is a five. So it is a seven player, five banker. We lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have four player, one banker. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a three for a total of seven. Banker gets a third card, and the third card is a four for a total of five. So seven, five. That was a player hand. We were betting player. We won another hand there. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural nine banker. Player has a zero, so we won the hand as well. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a natural nine player and zero banker. We won the hand as well. On this one, it shows the who won the hand, and this is my bet. I'm going back here to do a title, to freeze the title. So we're able to see the totals here. Player 6, bankers 8, ties 4 for a total of 18 hands. Next hand. Uh, let's play this here. So next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a six player and six banker. Either one of the two gets a third card, so it is a tie. We have five ties so far. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have seven banker and stands. Player has a two and gets a third card. The third card is a one for a total of three. Three player and banker has seven. We lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a five, banker has a one. Both of them get a card. Player has five plus five equals zero. And banker has a one and gets a third card. And the third card is an eight for a total of nine. So this one it was a banker hand. I was playing a player, so I lost this hand. Let me move this here to see if that helps. Okay, next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a natural nine player, natural nine banker, and player has a seven. That was a banker hand. I was betting player, so I lost this hand as well. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a three, banker has a five. Player gets a third card and gets a four for a total of seven. And banker has a five, and five gets a card. And we get four, five, six, or seven. So it gets a third card, and the third card is a zero. So seven, five. That was a player hand. That's another hand that I lost according to my strategy. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a six player and a stance. Banker has a three and gets a third card. The third card is a four for a total of seven. So six, seven. In this case, we won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a seven and a stands. Banker has a three and gets a third card. The third card is a five for a total of eight. So banker eight, player seven. I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. But now banker has a natural nine. Player has a five. So I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a four player, three banker. The player gets a third card, and the third card is a zero for a total of it remains at four. And player gets a third card. The third banker gets a third card. The third card is a none, and it reduces to two. So that one was a player hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a seven and a stance. Player has a one and gets a third card, and the third card is a zero. So it remains at one. And banker has seven. So I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a 7 and it stands. Player gets a third card. The third card is a 0 for a total of 0. 7. I lost my hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. Player has an 8 and it stands. Well, 8 and it's a natural 8. Banker has a 7. Player won that hand. I was betting player, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. Banker has a 4. Player has a 4. Third card for player is a 9, so it reduces to 3. So 3 player. Banker remains at 4. Only gets a third card. You get something from 2 to 7. So 3, 4. That was a banker hand. I was playing banker and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. I got a 8, natural 8 player, and banker has a 6. I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. The player has a 7 and it stands. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 0. It remains at 1. So 7 player, 1 banker. I won that hand as well. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. Now we have a natural 8 banker. Natural 8 banker. And player has a 7. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. Now we have a natural 8 player and a natural 9 banker. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker. I won that hand. Next hand, first card player. Banker. Player. Banker. We have a 4 player, 5 banker, and we get a third card for player, and it's a 4. Excuse me, it's a 0, so it remains at 4. And banker, no more card for banker, so it gets it remains at 5. And I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and banker has a 6. Player gets a third card. The third card is a 0, so it remains at 1. And banker has a 6, so I lost my hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a 7 and it stands. Player has a 4 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6. 6 plus 4 is equal 0. So 0, 7. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now banker has a natural 8 and player has a 6. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 banker and 5 player. I won that hand. That was a banker hand. My next bet is going to be also a banker. First card player, banker, player, banker. We have one player, three banker, and the third card for player is a zero, and it requires a third card for banker. The third card is a nine, for it reduces to two. So player one, banker two. I won that hand as well. And again, I'm not betting. As you see, my formula is not moving the amounts because I stopped betting. I'm not supposed to be at the table at that moment. When I'm done betting, I leave the table. Um, Now we have a seven banker and a stance. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a three. Three players, seven banker, and I want that hand as well. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural eight player, and banker has a one. And I was betting the player, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a five and get a third card. Banker will get a third card as well. The third card for player is two, so five plus two, seven. And banker gets a third card, and the third card is a six for a total of eight. Um, Four plus three, seven, and banker has eight. So I was betting banker, and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a one player and four banker. The third card for player is a two for a total of three. And a banker gets a third card. The third card is six for a total of zero. So three, zero. So I was betting banker and we got a player. We lost that hand. On this side tells me how many hands we are up or we are down. It shows that we are up 10 hands in this shoot. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a seven player, a seven banker and a stance. Player has a three and gets a third card. The third card is a four. So player also has seven. Seven, seven. That's another tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now banker has a natural eight. Player has a four. We will bet the banker and we won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a five player, four banker. The third card for player is a zero, so it remains at five. And banker has a four. No more cards for banker since we got a zero player third card. Next hand, and we won that hand. First card for player, banker, player, banker. Have a zero player, five banker. The third card for player is a five, and because we got a five third card for player, and we get a third card for banker if you get anything between four to seven. So the third card for banker is a zero, so it is 5-5. We got another tie. This is tie number 7. We look at the numbers on top. We have 14 players, 28 bankers, a 7 tie for a total of 49 hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have one player, zero banker. We get a third card for both of them. Player get a 7 for a total of 8. And banker has a 5. So 8, 5. That was a player hand. I was betting banker and I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a natural 8 player, and banker has a 2. So that was a player hand. I was betting banker, and I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player. Okay, we are playing hand number 52. We have 1 for player and 0 for banker. We get a third card for both of them. The third card for player is an 8, so it goes to 9. And banker has another 0, so 9 player, 0 banker. And I lost a hand, 3 hands that I lost in a row. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 6 banker and 2 player. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a 1 for a total of 3. So 3 players, 6 banker, and we don't get any more cards for banker. Next hand, and that was another loss, 4 losses in a row. First card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 0 player and 1 banker. The third card for player is an 8 for a total of 8 player. And banker has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So banker player is an 8. Banker 1. I was playing player, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a player 1, banker 0. The third card for player is a 2 for a total of 3. And banker has a 0, gets a third card, and it's a 2, so 3, 2. That was a player hand. I won that hand as well. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a 6 player and stands, banker 0 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 6. So this is a tie hand, 6 6. This is a tie number 8 of the two. 19 players, 29 banks, 8 ties, total of hands 56. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have a natural 9 player, and banker has a 7. And that was a player hand. I was betting or playing banker, so I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 3 player and 5 banker. Player gets a third card, and it's a 4. So total is 3 plus 4, 7, and banker has a 5. Yeah, for 5 banker, I get a third card if I get anything from 4 to 7. So it gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So it remains at 5. That was a player hand. I was betting player, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 7 and it stands. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 5 for a total of 6. So 7 player and 6 banker. I lost that hand. I was betting banker, and the winner was a player. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 6 player and a stands. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So 6 player and 3 banker. I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a excuse me. I have a 2 player and gets a third card. Banker has a 7 and it stands. The third card for player is 3. So the total of 5 player and banker has a 7. The winner is a banker. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I had that win as well. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 5 player and gets a third card, and 2 banker and gets the third card. A player gets a 3 for a total of 8. 8 player and banker has a 2, and the third card is a 0, so it remains at 2. That was a 2, that was a player hand, and I was betting banker, so I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 player, and banker has a 0. I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 8, and banker has a 3. That was a player hand. I was betting player, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a natural 9 banker, and player has a 0. So that was a banker hand. I was betting player. I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 7 banker and a stance. Player has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is another 0. So 0, 7. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a natural 8 banker, and player has a 0. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 5 player and 5 banker. The player gets a third card, and the third card is a 7, so that 5 goes down to 2. And banker, for the 5, we get a third card if we get anything from 4 to 7. So banker gets a third card, and the third card is a 0, so it remains at 5. That was another banker hand. I was betting banker. I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have player 6 and stance. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0, so it remains at 1. So 6 player, 1 banker. I was betting banker, and we got a player, so I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a 6 player and a stance. Banker 5 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3 for a total of 8. So 6 player and 8 banker. 6 8. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, and I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 6 player and a stance. Banker has a 5 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 4 for a total of 9. 9 banker, player has a 6. So 6 9 banker hand. I was betting player, and I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a 3 player for banker, and the third card for player is a 0. So it remains at 3. 3 player, banker doesn't get any more cards, so it remains at 4. I won that hand. I was playing banker, and it was a bank, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card for player, banker, player, banker. I have a 6 player and a stand, 6 banker and a stand, so this is another tie, 6 6. Got 73 hands so far, 9 ties. Next hand, first card for player, banker, player, banker. I have a natural 9 banker, and three player. I was betting banker, and I got a banker, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Have a three player, and banker has a four. The third card for player is a six for a total of nine player. And banker, you get a third card. Four gets a third card from if we get a third card from two to seven. So the third card for banker is a zero. So it remains at four. So we won that hand as well. Next hand, first card player, first card banker, second card player, second card banker. I have a zero player and six banker. Player gets a third card, and the third card is a two. So zero plus two, two. Player and banker has a six. No more cards for banker. I was betting player, so I lost that hand. Next hand. Oh, we got a third. We got a the cut card, so we play this one plus one more. First card for player, banker, player, banker. I have a three player, three banker. The player gets a third card, and the third card is a two. So three plus two equals five, and banker gets a third card, and the third card is a two for a total of five. So five five. This is another tie, and we are going to play the last hand of the shoe. First card player, first card banker, second card player, second card banker. We have a natural nine banker, and player has a zero. So nine zero. Um, Now we came to the end of the shoe. I'm gonna remove the remaining of the shoe here from the shoe deck. This is the discard tray. This is the total of hands, 78 hands. 78 hands, players 28, 40 bankers, 10 ties for a total of 78. Um, we have, I was positive on this shoe 12 units, 12 additional units. That means that we won more units, 12 more units than those that we lost. We won on this shoe $200, and these $200 using these strategies, this money management. We made $200 in five. No, excuse me. We in 10 hands. In 10 hands, we make $200. If we have played flat bet during the whole show, it would have been 12 additional units, but we will have to pay commissions for those times that we won with banker. The strategies that I use are coming out from the strategies or the scorecards that I have on the right side. This is done. This is still um, automatically after I'm entering the information here. The information comes automatically to the side, to the right side. So we go over the strategies, over the scorecards. I see here on 1 to 11. I see four bankers here. I see four more bankers here and four more bankers here. Two times four bankers, four bankers, four bankers. The 1 to 10, I see five bankers here, three players, uh, three bankers, three more bankers. In 1 through 9, I see six bankers here, six bankers in a row, three players here, one banker, three more players, three players. I see four bankers here. In 1 to 8, I see here three bankers and here five bankers. Here I see one banker, one tie, and four more bankers. Three players here, three more bankers here. In 1 through 7, I see five bankers, four players, four bankers, four players, three bankers here. In 1 through 6, I see here 3 bankers, 5 bankers here, 4 bankers, 3 players, 3 more players here, 6 players here, 5 bankers here, 3 more bankers here. Every 5, I see here 4 players, 4 more players, 3 players here, 5 bankers, 5 bankers here, 4 bankers. The strategies that I have or that I use, they come out from this very similar. It's not they are not the same. I don't use any of the 1 to 10 or 1 to 11, but it's a very similar system. You can use any of the systems. Any of the systems will give you a similar outcome in regards to sometimes you lose some in a row, sometimes you win some in a row, but because you are doubling when you lose, by the time that you win, because you don't reset back to the original bet, you win. When you win several in a row, you are making your money back. This is a very nice strategy. This is the money management that I use. I have here 5 bankers, 4 players, 4 more players, 3 players, 3 more players, 3 more players here. That was every 4, every 3, 3 bankers here, 3 more bankers. Here 3, 6, 7 bankers, and here 5 bankers, 3 players, 3 bankers. And here where we have a nice run, 3, 6, 7 players, 3 players here. I see 4 bankers here. This is on the one before, 1 through 4. We didn't get all the way to the end. But 4 players, 3 bankers here. And this is every 3. I see 3, 6, 7. And here 3, 6, 7 players. Um, 4 bankers. All these scorecards, I have them available in my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. They are in a PDF form. You can download it. You can just open them and review them and you come up with the strategies. Try to use a different strategy that you go to the casino. Don't stay too long at the casino. Go and make your money fast. A few units, 1 through 5 units per shoe, and then go home. Go to another casino. Don't stay too long. The reason why we lose at the casino is because we stay way too long. On every 2 here, I have four bankers, and here I have 5 bankers. You can use any of those scorecards. See which one is more appealing to you. Here, 4 more bankers, 6 bankers here, 4 players, 4 more players here, and here we have a nice run of 7 bankers. So any of those strategies you can use. Again, for all the scorecards, visit my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can support my channel at paypal.me/juancarlosmonsalve12, or you can go to the website buymeacoffee.com and /juancarlosmonsalve. You can make donations there too. You can help me by giving it a thumbs up to this video. Subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so you get notification, share this video with others. Always sit back and observe. So just look at how the information is entered here and automatically calculates the information in my spreadsheet. Um, my YouTube channel is Juan Carlos Monsalve. Is at Juan Carlos Monsalve 1652. My Facebook group is Baccarat Research. I upload the videos there too, and also you can make donations in Cash App, uh, $ Juan Carlos Monsalve. I hope this information is useful, that you find it interesting, entertainment, and that you can. If you are not a gambler, I'm not trying to make gamblers. I'm giving this information for those already that know about the game or know about other games and you want to try this one. This is the game that they give you most of the um, most is more even the odds between the casino and the player because you have the option to play one side or the other or back and forth between player and banker. The only thing is that at the casino, for the banker wins, you pay. Most of the casinos have like the 5%, 5% for banker winnings. There are some variations of the game that instead of a commission, there are non-commission tables, but they have another ways to get their money for the advantage that bankers have over player. In this case, we got 40 bankers and 28 players. Sometimes it's vice versa, more players than bankers. But most of the time, it's a banker that wins. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more advantage. This is all I have for today. I will be posting one video. I'm trying to do one video a day sometimes because I also have a regular job. I cannot um, not every day I'm able to do a video. It takes some time to process those videos. I will upload this video within the next few hours. Please keep watching my videos. I love to have you here. Thank you and have a wonderful day. And I will see you on the next one.